Guys, questions when you're ready.
Jay, what's the key to replacing Patrice Renee now he's lost this season?
I mean, Greg Ross has played really well. He's played a lot of games here. I think Storm Duck's a really talented young kid who we got thrown in the fire that first game and then did well. So, I mean, it sucks for Patrice. He's a great kid. Really great kid. He was over at my house last week. My wife was like, man, he's such a nice boy. And, I'm rooting for him to keep, have a chance to keep playing football.
How pleased were you with the rotation of Chaz and Dominique now that you were able to have that third guy there?
We wanted to get Dominique into some different situations as a pass rusher because I think he's got a really good skill set on the edge, and credit to Miami, they did a good job of kind of keeping us out of some of that, with some formations and some personnel groupings. But going forward, that would be a situation we'd like to get them both on the field a little more than we did. But I was happy with it.
Jeremiah, I think, had 14 tackles. Was he better than the week before? Or tackle numbers can be deceiving sometimes. Or,
yeah.
And how was he better?
I mean, South Carolina was his first game ever really playing. So I think you always improve after you've played once, And then I think, there was a little bit, we played more plays and they ran the ball a little better. So, but yeah, Jeremiah, I thought he played really well.
Who is behind Storm Duck as your number 4 corner?
Obi Egbuna. Yeah. And we got a lot of confidence in Obi, the freshman. Yeah.
Max said earlier that one thing to look out against Wake is they have some really tall receivers. Were you guys planning around that, especially with Patrice out now?
Well, we got Trey Morrison hanging from his closet every night. Hopefully he gets a little bit taller. But, yeah, I mean, I think, Scotty Washington's a really big kid. I've seen pictures of Chaz Ratton with his brother, and they look about this. They look like twins. So Chaz's a pretty big dude. So, yeah, I mean, we got to do a good job of going out there. Trey Morrison defends big receivers every day in practice. He's defended some big guys. Storm Duck's a bigger corner. So I think there's a little bit more favorable matchup for us there. But I don't think we have a bunch of real little guys. So, I mean, I think they're used to playing bigger guys, and I think they'll be okay.
Trey seemed to have a really good game against Miami. What is he bringing, and what do you really like about how he plays the quarterback position?
Yeah, I thought Trey, we matched him up on 4 from Miami, who I think is a really elite player, and did a great job. And he took a couple shots at him. He defended it really well. He's got great quickness. We talk about time when you're playing press man, you got to win at the line of scrimmage, you got to win at the end, and you're at the top of the route. And I thought against Miami, he did a really good job of winning both sides, winning it at the line of scrimmage and at the top of the route, a number of times. And so he's a really competitive kid. He's a good football player. And I think moving him to corner has been really good for us.
What did your defense need to do on Friday to put the offensive position in the game?
Just to make him punt a couple times. If he scored a bunch of points, I hope so. I mean, Wake Forest is really good on offense. They get their big receivers. It's a pretty unique situation. I got a lot of respect for Nick Tobacco, their O-line coach. I was with him at Ball State. So I think we got to do a really good job in the run game. They're very good at blocking looks in the run game. We've been able to steal some plays in the run game with lesser run boxes, and they'll make you pay if you do that. So we got to do a really good job with defending the run, and we got to defend those big receivers.
I know you said Storm survived the first game when he was out there. Was Saturday your survival or a little bit better?
He didn't play a ton Saturday, but when he went in, he did really well. I mean, I'm very confident in Storm.
Do you know the name of where you guys' name from?
That's a great question. I don't know. His sister's got a name similar. I don't remember now, but yeah, a weather pattern, so of some sort.
What is it you like about Jamie Newman and the way he runs that offense with those weapons?
Yeah, I think he's a really dynamic player. I think he is super accurate, and that's what we told our guys. We were going back and looking at the games he played last year. It's just super accurate, and to guys that are covered a lot. It was really impressive. And then I think when they ask him to run, if they're going to have some design quarterback runs, he's really effective. I think he's a really good player.
How do you describe sort of like a delayed RPO that they run the ball? And I guess would imagine that requires a lot of discipline from your inside linebackers. How do you describe that and prepare for something like that?
Yeah, I think they do a really good job of they don't let you try to steal guys in the run game. If you're trying to drop a safety in to defend the run or use a corner in the run game, because they hold on to it so long, the O-line does such a good job of protecting the line of scrimmage that when the quarterback feels that, he's able to pull it and throw it and replace you. And so they kind of make you play honest. I think Phil does a good job of that too with our offense. So you have to be really disciplined in line, but you have to really stay in your gaps. And everybody's got to win their. You got to do your 111. If I'm the B gap defender, I got to defend the B gap. And they do a good job. It's a good attack.
I asked Coach, go ahead.
Have you seen anything different from Chaz gearing up to play his brother on Friday?
Not really. I asked him today if he wanted to go out and play press man on himself. He said, yeah. So we'll work on that for third downs. But no, it's I mean, I think it's a pretty cool story. They're both really good players. I asked his mom and dad after the South Carolina game if they were planning on having the other ones. We'd like to offer that one a scholarship too. It's pretty talented kids.
I asked Coach Brown Saturday if he expected it to be like 2-0. I mean, for you, is it kind of crazy winning those 2 games, or what was your kind of mental state entering the season and now where you are now?
No, I was confident in our kids, and I think I think I go into every game with the expectation that we have the ability to win. I think we played well at times and not as well at other times. I think we're trying to get better every day. And I think at this point with our program, that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to every day just make progress. And then I think if you do that and you have talented enough kids, which we do, you'll win enough.
You also mentioned a couple weeks ago, one of the keys mandates for these guys to get off the field on third down. I think Miami was 3 for 11 the other night. What did you guys do to have success defending on third down?
I think we did a good job with some of our pressures. We had some looks that I thought were good looks, when we ran them. And then I thought our D-line had really good pressure. I mean, Tamon had 3 sacks. I thought Jason was really disruptive. I thought Aaron was really disruptive. So we were able to kind of mix some coverages up on third downs. We got in some favorable third downs, which is always helpful. And I thought the front did a good job rushing.
Jay, we talked a little bit about Tamon in the offseason. Was this what you expected?
Yeah, I think he's a really good player. I think we put a lot on him. I don't know people, other coaches do, I think. We ask a lot of Tamon Fox. He's a really good player.
What's he do outside of pass rush that you asked him?
He plays about 3 different spots, and we move him around, try to get favorable pass rushers. One of the sacks we had Saturday was a look, and the other thing he does is when we move him around, he dictates protections a little bit. So you kind of, we put him, because he is an outside linebacker, we put him in situations where they don't want to put a running back on him in protection. So we can kind of force some protections with him by aligning him in certain spots and get, Jason or Aaron, Cater or one of those other guys, one-on-one. That's a favorable matchup for us too. So he's a very valuable kid.
Jay, Miami got down to the 25 in the first quarter. You had Trey Morrison with a good breakup. You had Tamon with a sack, and you had D. Ross with the pressure. Is that 3 plays is sort of the epitome and in a nutshell what you want to have happen with your guys?
Yeah, I think we're trying to create pressure with as few players as possible. So I think one of those was a zero blitz all out look, which we don't do much, and then the other one was a simulated pressure 4-man, where the man pressure, the overwhelming pressure kind of dictates a protection, kind of scares them into protection. Where now you get one-on-one or one-on-none in that case with Dominique. So yeah, we're trying to be multiple. We're trying to give different looks. I think we've done okay with that so far. Certainly hasn't always been pretty. And we had some Saturday that we were like, well, like that last drive, we busted a coverage on the one ball in the flat. But I think our kids are doing a really good job of managing more, asking more of them than maybe was asked in the past.
What do you like from that third defensive line spot? So you got Sherwood and Crawford, but you've been rotating a lot of different guys in there. Gill played.
Zach Gill played about 20 snaps, so I did really well. I think he improves every day. Got a lot of confidence in him. Tamari Fox, I think, is playing well. We want him to play more. He's still a freshman. He's got to grow up a little bit, every snap, but he's really talented. Ray Bochek's played some and done a nice job. And then, we're using Cater some. We're using, I think Tyrone Hopper still got a club on. I think when he gets that club off, he'll be able to help us more. So a lot of guys are playing that spot.
Cater and Hopper, outside linebacker, and kind of guys.
Yeah, all of them are.
Anything else, guys?
I love that question.
Just so confusing.
Yeah. Anybody else? Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Jay.